I was praying for all those things: joy, peace, wisdom, love, understanding, prosperity, and abundance, and just good health and patience. And so this fast also creates patience, because patiently I'm waiting for the day to eat regular food again. But for now, my focus is on enjoying this food. So I made some cabbage. I don't know if I took a picture of that, but I definitely made mashed potatoes. Oh yeah, that's also what happened. It broke off laziness too. That's a bad habit. So, I used to use instant oatmeal, instant grits. Baby, that cut all that out. Because when I had to go in the store, I had to read the ingredients, and with this Daniel fast, it's literally no processed food. And when you go on a fast, you realize how almost everything I've been eating is processed. So it caused me to cook from scratch, which brought me to being creative. I'm making vegan pasta. Man, I'm tearing it up in the kitchen. I'm like, I didn't even know I could do all this. I'm creating some good mashed potatoes. I made cabbage. And I was having salads most of the time. Green beans. I really didn't have the amount of time to get everything I wanted to eat, because I was eating a lot of nuts. Pecans was my favorite. That was my favorite snack. I was overeating those. They were so good. And fruits like oranges. I'm obsessed with oranges now, even though I've always liked them, but now I'm obsessed with them. So it's really just healthier and clean eating, and it taught me not to be wasteful, because now I use up all my eggs. I be whipping it up. I used to be lazy to cook breakfast, and it broke that laziness off. Like, now I'm willing to cook whatever in my fridge and just get creative with cooking. Like, I found my new love and passion for cooking again. So that's why this fast was really rewarding. Like, it awakens some of your passions for the little things or hobbies you take for granted. And it's like, I could be a vegan chef if I even wanted to. If I really put in that work, I could do it both. Because my vegan pasta was still pretty good. I got to tweak it a little bit because I'm not a vegan. But it was edible and it tasted good. I was whole wheat pasta. Like, I was in Whole Foods shopping stuff I never shopped for. And so that's what makes it exciting for me personally, because now I'm trying new dishes when I used to be a pretty basic person when it came to eating. But fasting causes you to get creative and outside, because there's so much foods to avoid. So that was, for me, everything. I love cooking. I just can't wait to be cooking up a bunch of new dishes. Creativity and everything, that's what I was praying for too, just more creativity. And it just causes you to become more of your authentic self, wanting to do things outside the box, no longer wanting to stay in the box. You want to get outside that box. So I encourage everyone to fast. I don't want to make this video too long. There's probably a lot more I could say. For my fast, I enjoyed it after the first 6 days. The sixth day, I broke down crying from lack of meat, because I was like, God, this is really painful. I don't even know why I have to do this. I'm not understanding. And then he was like, you just didn't start it right. If you would have eased into it, it wouldn't be this hard. And I was like, oh. So then I went and got me some tacos, and I was satisfied. And so from then on, I had meat once a day. Then by the next week, I was back to just eating salads, because I already knew how that felt like. So sometimes it's just a mind thing. When you can't have something, that's all you focus on having. So I learned that too, because I'm like, once I was able to have it, I was perfectly fine with going back to eating salads again. So it was weird. So definitely learned that you can do everything. It's just all about your mindset going into it. And I felt like I was not mentally prepared. I just sprung into it. And so, I really loved it towards the end, because broke off laziness, replaced it with a new love for life itself. Just outside, everything looks prettier, everything fascinates me. It's just insane. This fast was everything. So yeah, and it just also made me want to help my parents too with their eating habits, you know, even my sibling too. But she already was getting into that. So God is aligning things that everyone should want to eat healthy. It's not a punishment, which is what I seen it as. It was actually the best thing that could have happened to me, because another form of self-love. Put into your body good things and you feel good. Like they say, you are what you eat. So I don't want to eat that fake food, start being fake. No, I want to be real. That's why we eat whole foods, real foods. I don't want that list of promethazine, cuisine, exmethazine, all that. I don't want all that in my food. I want real food. I want some real potatoes. And that's crazy because I used to eat that instant stuff. And not knowing that that's clogging me up, that's holding me back, that's not freeing me, freeing my spirit. So I love you guys, and the Daniel fast literally changed my perspective on life. Like, it just gave me a newfound appreciation for everything. So I love you guys, and I hope you guys will try this fast and have a blessed day. Bye. Okay, let me talk about day 11, because I was going to revival at my church, and see, had I not been fasting, I wouldn't have gone to revival, because I wasn't doing that. I wasn't going to church on a Wednesday. Let me tell you about obedience. So I was going to Wednesdays on the Word in October, and an older lady came and sat next to me at church, and I was kind of like, man, all these pews. God hears my thoughts, y'all. Y'all gotta forgive me. I'm human. So I'm in my head like, all these pews and this lady gonna sit right on top of me. Like, it wasn't just a little space. She came and sat right on top of me. And I'm in my head like, God, what the? I just scooted a little because, you know, I'm a little bit introverted. So I was sitting next to you. But dang, you ain't gotta sit on top of me. But anyways. I was dying at myself inside, but she seen me. I was like lit in church because, oh my God, it was the most beautiful service of choir that was singing. And this girl could sing like she should have been on American Idol. So I was lit up in there. I was like, oh my God, this girl can sing. I don't know what to do with myself. So she seen me just dancing and getting it. I felt her watching me the whole time. It was a little creepy, but I was just like, whatever. And so I was just praising the Lord, because these kids singing were giving me life. I wish I should have recorded, but I was too into the moment. Like, ooh, people is talented. Y'all don't get it. The Lord gives people some talent. And so let's just fast forward, because it was such a good message. At the end of the service, she was like, you know how preachers call you to the altar if you haven't joined the church to come join? Won't you come join? This day was so beautiful, y'all. So she was like, this old woman, she was like, I'm scared to go up. And I was like, what? No. And I'm like, do you want me to walk with you? And she was like, yes. And so I already had joined the church, but I walked with her up to the front. Everyone was so happy about that. And she was like the whole time walking with her, like holding her. She was like, thank you so much. I would have never gone up there without you. And then that's when it clicked in my head, like, oh my God, this was like a divine appointment. Like, had I not sat in that pew, had I not gone to church, she wouldn't have joined the church and found a new church home. And she was just so sweet. I was just like, wow. She was so scared. And at her older age, she was so scared. And that's what gets me. I don't want nobody to be so fearful, because I know how that feels. I know how it feels to be scared. Like, what do we be scared of? That's how you know it's spiritual. We got so much fear in us. And so we walked up there together. And it's like a chain reaction. When people see people going up to the altar, it causes other people. So this lady was crying walking up there. Like, I got chills talking about this. This lady was crying her eyes out, like walking up there, because she had a box and it had her baby on it. And it was just, we all had a moment there at the altar, because it's broken people coming to church. Church is just not what people think it is. People are going through things. She lost her child, and by that message and those kids singing, you're ministering to people who are having broken spirits. So I don't play about spirituality like this is just a game. Like, just because you might think I'm crazy, but this is ministering to someone that maybe it goes over your head, but someone heard me and they needed to hear that. Just like that lady there, she needed to hear whatever sermon was there to have her walk up to the front and join the church. So this is not a game to me at all. Like, this is not a game, because it's lives out there that they're going through things, and they might not make it without a church home or someone ministering to their spirit. So I just want to say that, because that's the point of my obedience with God, because I never know why I'm in a space until I'm there most of the time. Because as we can see, I was not going to church on a Wednesday night last year, any year before that. So it's just about being obedient, because God can use you at any age. He will use whoever he wants to. It doesn't matter. I'm 22. I'm 22 helping a 60-year-old or something, 50-year-old. So never believe you're too young to follow God. It really changed my perspective that whole day. Just the 11th day of fasting, my mind was being changed and transformed. It was just like, wow, he really uses me. Like, that's just what kept clicking. I'm like, oh my. Your key takeaways are going to be to be alone and hide when fasting, because you in that kitchen downstairs, you're going to be tempted. You better stay in your room, in your closet, or somewhere. But you got to stay away from people and other things. It's best to just, when you're taking that amount of time, you shouldn't be so busy. A busybody. And then you want to study God's word for spiritual food. When you get hungry, you're supposed to study God's word to feed you, feed the spirit, versus that meat we be eating. Fasting speeds up your healing. You better pray, I will not eat meat until the Lord hears my prayer, until this anxiety is cured, until this fear is broken off of me. I will not eat. Dedicate however long you can dedicate, but I would suggest anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours, whichever your capacity is of devotion, which can be reading or just listening to music or a sermon. You could read the Bible and then watch a sermon. That's your devotion, but you want to feed your spirit. Unmovable joy will occur. And you want to pray for God's will to be done on earth, not yours.